Hey guys, it's been a while since I talked to the camera like this and talked about more vulnerable topics. You know, my last video was just about fashion and everything that I bought from Vietnam, but this video, it's a bit more personal. We'll see how this goes. Basically, I'm recapping on 2023 thus far and just recalibrating for the rest of the year. I don't know about you, but I really felt like the earlier part of 2023 flew by. Before 2023 could hit me, I was thrown into a foreign country for nearly 6 months as part of my university program, the NUS Overseas College program. I found myself loving Ho Chi Minh and all it had to offer, but before I could fully settle into the new pace of life there, it was time to return back to Singapore. I'll be honest, it's taken me a while to settle back into the Singapore grind and culture. I'm also finding it a bit tougher to take stock of my life this year, more so than other years. I've never felt time pass by this fast. In my I was about to say 23 years, but now it's 24, so I'm 24 years old this year, which to me just sounds really old, and I'm sorry to people who are older watching my videos, but 24 just sounds like such an adult age to me, and it's giving me a quarter life crisis. But with that being said, I just really feel like time flew by and I am a bit scared because I'm worried that time will continue to fly by and I'll just wonder to myself, what did I really do? What did I really achieve? Was all of that meaningful and purposeful and worth it? But anyway, this video isn't about the 6 months in Ho Chi Minh or the NOC experience. I'll have a separate video for that. In this video, I just wanted to have an honest reflection on the past 6 months. And I want to look into the future as well to see where I'm going and what else I want to focus on. So as I'm reflecting on the past, and one thing that I have mentioned is that I'm entering my final semester in university. This is quite surreal. I think I talked about it in one of my older videos that this could potentially be my last semester in uni, but I've finally decided that it is going to be my last semester in university, and I think that just makes the whole adulting thing a lot more real. But first, when did I decide to take the Bachelor of Arts, the 3 years program, as opposed to the Bachelor of Social Sciences Honors 4 years program? When did that decision happen? It was something that was on my mind since I think even year 2 of university, which is just last year. I think I was really questioning the value of a degree, especially for creatives. I think you guys have seen Dargoyaki talk about it, Sneaky Sushi, and a whole bunch of other content creators, not just in Singapore, but especially overseas. I think the value of a degree is really dependent on what you're studying and what you want to do in the future. But given that I've already decided that I want to do UI UX, and given that I already have some things going on there, I really felt like having a degree or pursuing like the thesis and the 4 years honors program, it just didn't have that much value to me. So that was why I made the decision to take the 3 years program instead, because I know I do want that paper to show that I graduated from university, but I just didn't see the need to go for the 4 years program. With freelancing and UI UX especially, it's such a technical role and skill, so what matters a lot more than the degree would be, I believe at least, I believe it is the portfolio, which showcases the work that you're able to produce. I think that's a lot more valuable than the degree, which does not always translate to your ability to design. With that being said, it's because I study communications and new media in NUS, which is very theoretical. If you are studying design in a design school, or if you're in NTU ADM, wish I was there. But if you're in LaSalle, NAFA, whatever it may be, and you're really learning the design skills that you need for your career, then of course I think a degree would be a lot more practical and helpful. But I guess it's also because I'm studying comms and new media, so that's why the degree didn't really make sense to me, given that I want to do UI UX. So yeah, that was my very long-winded answer to when I made the decision. But one thing that comes with this decision is my shorter runway into adulting. But to be honest, I haven't felt like a student in a really long time. I think the most student I felt was in CAPT, my first 2 years in university, but even then it was COVID, so There was no going out with friends much, especially near the start. No university camps, barely any, if any. They were all online. I didn't have any friends from my faculty because everything was remote. I only had friends from CAPT, which was really nice, because if I wasn't staying on campus, I think I would not have any friends. So that was the most student I felt, because after that, I did my full-time internship for 6 months in Shopee, and then after that, I went to Ho Chi Minh for 6 months. So for a whole year, I haven't really felt like a proper student because I've been working. So I haven't felt like a student in a long time, and I feel like I'm okay to be a full-fledged adult with the label of adult. But another thing that I want to touch on is friendships. I did mention that I only have friends from CAPT, but I have honestly been so busy, and ever since Ho Chi Minh, I find it very difficult to be vulnerable with people. I don't know when or how this happened, but it's something that I think has always been a part of who I am. Like, I find it exceedingly easy to talk to a camera, an inanimate object, but I'm still able to articulate and share my feelings because I feel like someone is watching, someone's listening. But I find it very difficult to be vulnerable face to face with people. I'm extremely selective about who I open up to, and I'm still trying to figure out the patterns. Like, what is it about certain people that makes me comfortable to open up to them? Do they have to be strong in their own lives? Do they have to have certain lived experiences such that I feel like they won't judge me? I don't really know, but this vulnerability is something that I've reflected on the past 6 months in 2023 as well, because friendships in adult life, I feel, is very different from friendships in school. I guess in school it's easy when you see each other every other day or you're in close proximity, but as an adult, it becomes very clear who you want to spend your time and resources on. And I'm still trying to figure out this whole friendship thing, because I think the only friends that I have right now, close friends at least, are those in church, just because I feel like we have this deep thing that's connecting all of us together, which is our faith, and conversations are naturally a lot deeper and a lot more vulnerable because of that. I'm just rambling right now. All in all, I'm just saying that vulnerability in friendships is something that I've been reflecting on in 2023. But before I ramble on too much, I think let's go on to talk a bit more about things for the rest of 2023. So at the start of the year, I made a video where I talked about some of my goals. So my 3 goals, which I mentioned in my Taiwan video, was to work on my 2 side projects, fellowship cards as well as coffee and clay, which is basically just a pottery thing that I wanted to start, and sadly none of them happened. So for fellowship cards, I found a supplier or printer in Vietnam, but it was not the cheapest still. So I was contemplating, and before I could really finalize the branding, it was time to head back to Singapore. But I really do want to work on the branding and get that done, just to create a small batch and to see where that goes, because I think it's something that's been on my mind for so long, and I think there must be a reason that it, is still on my mind. So maybe I just need to get it done, and maybe I'll stop thinking about it so much. But I think it'd be a really fun side project to pursue in the rest of 2023. As for the pottery thing, coffee and clay, the idea was I wanted to make cups and mugs and just homeware. So I was looking for a pottery studio in Vietnam because I was hoping that it'd be more affordable than in Singapore. While it is, it's still not the cheapest, so I just never committed to that either. Right now, I think I'm a bit too busy to be focusing on pottery, but it's still something that I really want to pursue in the future. So hopefully I'll make it a 2024 goal and I'll stick to it then. But I think for the rest of 2023, I have other things I want to focus on, especially since it's the last semester in uni. There are a few things that I want to do because it is the runway before I become a full-fledged adult. I really want to focus on Waves and Nomademy. So Waves is my design studio. I have been freelancing for nearly 2 years now, which is so crazy to me. Yeah, so Waves is my design studio where I do UI UX brand design services for clients, and Nomademy is Something that I'm still not 100% clear on, but I know that the slogan is helping creatives go from Fiverr to five figure, because that was very much my journey as well. And I believe that there's such a gap in Singapore when it comes to this, because freelancing is not really on the minds of students. Even if it is, I think it's a big question mark as to how to start, where to start, and all the different skills that comes along with freelancing and design. So I think I really want to work on Nomademy and see how I can kind of bridge the gap and teach those skills, but also provide value and resources and just a whole bunch of things, and just to see how Nomademy can become its own thing, its own platform with all the rich resources and everything. So we'll see how that goes. But with the whole waves and Nomademy thing, I think the main thing is I really want to improve my design and business skills, because I really want to overcome my imposter syndrome and fear when it comes to anything business or marketing or salesy. But even with design work, like sometimes when I look at my design work, I just feel very shaky. Like on one hand, oh, it looks good to me, but on the other hand, I'm just filled with doubt and fear, wondering if clients are gonna call me out or suss me out because I am a self-taught designer. I would say that 95% of what I know is self-taught. I did take a few UI UX design modules in school, but maybe only 1 or 2 modules. Everything else was very much just practice, practice, practice. And brand design and graphic design, that was completely self-taught. So I have this fear that clients will think that I'm lost, and I really want to work on that imposter syndrome and fear that people will think that I don't know what I'm doing, even though I kind of don't know what I'm doing sometimes. Does that make sense? I hope it makes sense. But yeah, I guess that's just something that I'm struggling with, the imposter syndrome, and wanting to get better at overcoming the voices that tell me people are gonna think I don't know what I'm doing and to actually practically work on my skills such that I become more confident in what I'm able to do and deliver as well. Just a whole bunch of things. Also, because it's my last semester in uni, besides, you know, working on waves and Nomademy, I also want to really relish the fact that I am still a student, and I really want to spend as much time as I can with friends and just feeling like a student, because I feel like in my second year in university, I was so fixed on hustling and making money and all these side hustles that I lost a lot of friends that semester. I don't want that to happen, especially not in my last semester of uni. I want to spend as much time as I can with the friends that magically I do still have, especially church friends. So I do want to have dedicated, protected time to give and to fellowship with the people who really care about me. I think at the core of it, I'm just very bad at understanding or comprehending that people love and care for me. I don't know why. Maybe there's more that I need to kind of dig deep within myself to find out, but I just find it very hard to believe that people care for me. Yeah, maybe that's why it's difficult for me to be vulnerable too. No answers, just reflecting right now. But last but not least, I really want to practice taking more risks and trusting God in the process. Like with the side projects that I wanted to start, fellowship cards and the pottery thing, I felt like a huge part of why I didn't work harder to make it happen was because I just didn't want to take the risk, because it does mean sinking capital, it does mean sinking resources and time into making it happen. And I feel like I'm just wired to take the safe approach, the safe and stable road. People do that, and it's not wrong. But I don't know, I just think taking risks is such a skill, and it's a skill that I want to get more comfortable doing. Also with risks, because it's so uncertain, it leaves room for you to trust God and to rely on Him. I'm not saying you need to purposely be an adrenaline junkie and take risks so that you can learn to believe and trust God. That's not what I'm saying. But I think there are times when taking risks and just doing things that are outside of your comfort zone is healthy. I guess for me personally, I just felt like I was really holding on very tightly to things that I knew were safe and stable, and I just cared so much about my self-preservation. Like I would plan every little detail, and I would want answers to what I'm gonna do in the next 5 days, in the next month, and just things like that. So I think that level of planning and fear was unhealthy, and it left no room for God, because where is God in that when you plan everything and you don't seek Him first, when you don't ask him, you don't acknowledge him in every step of the way. So I just want to trust God more. And for me, I think that means taking more risks and to not be so caught up in my own plans and self-preservation. So I guess that is all for my long reflection and recapping and reimagining the future. This video was just meant to be a quick catch-up. I'm really hoping to continue making student content as well, because I just think it's very fun and it just happens to do really well on my channel. So more student content coming your way, and possibly more UI UX content as well. But if you do want to see like educational UI UX and freelancing content, you can check out the Nomademy channel. On this channel, it'll just be more vloggy, more lifestyle, maybe some sharing as well, but we'll see. And I just want to thank you guys for still being here. I know that my viewership has really taken a plunge, but I don't feel too bothered by it, thank God. I think it's quite comfortable. You know, when I first started YouTube, I was like getting 300 views every video, and it felt like such a cozy crowd, and I felt comfortable to make whatever video I wanted when it was just a small group of people. Once the uni vlogs came in and once the viewers started streaming in, that made me a lot more afraid and a lot more caught up in the metrics. So maybe it's not a bad thing that, you know, we're having a smaller, more intimate group here on this channel again. But anyway, before I ramble on, again, because I always have the tendency to do so, thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you in the next video. And I pray that you stay safe, happy, and healthy wherever you are. Bye!